Hey, welcome back to another Crabby Dice Talks and Rants about Kickstarter. So you know the drill, just my subjective take on Kickstarters. I'm going to talk about the value, the gameplay, future value, so on and so on. I'm going to be quite positive for these two games we're going to cover today. Also, it's been a couple of weeks since I covered any games because it's been kind of a downer for the last 2 weeks. There's been almost nothing to cover. Pretty crappy games have been coming out, but boom, just recently a bunch of stuff has come out, so I'll probably spit out a few videos here one after another. So today we're going to look at Monsters on Board and the Return to Planet Apocalypse. They're both ending within the week, so if you want to back them, you got to do it now. So write in the comments below if you agree, thumbs up, thumbs down if you disagree, smash that dislike button, whatever. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, that'll be fantastic. Let's just get started. Alright, the first one we're going to talk about today is Monsters on Board. So sorry for this being so late here. There's only 3 days left, so if you really want it, you gotta back it now. But it'll probably be open in late pledge later on. So this one's by Final Frontier Games, and you know what? Before I gush a little about this game, I think we're gonna spend 2 minutes here just talking about their track record, because I think it's always important when you're looking at a company after they've released 5, 6, 7 games. Always look at their track record. It's going to tell you a lot about what they're going to release in the future. Okay, unfortunately this company does not have a great track record, and it's probably one of the main reasons I'm not going to back it, even though I'm really interested in this game and it looks amazing. But let's just go through their catalog quick. What I'm going to say is that there's a common theme in all their releases. The game looks amazing, but the gameplay either sucks or it's super flawed or it just doesn't work. Alright, casing point, this is not even debatable. Cavern Tavern looked great, terrible game. Really just a really bad game. Rise of Nobility, again, looks great, terrible game. Robin Hood, probably their worst game up to date. Semi-co-op didn't work at all. Again, look great, terrible game. Then we have the Rise and Nobility expansion, which I didn't play, so we'll keep that off the list. Next, Coloma. Alright, so this is where the company might have diverged. Alright, so I know a lot of people like this game. Personally, I haven't played it, but this game is based on a previous Johnny Pack game called Hangtown, and I absolutely hated that game, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to hate this game. Alright? But this might be a me problem and not a game problem. The other ones, it was kind of a consensus that they're terrible games. This one, it's getting great and bad reviews, so I guess I'll review it one day when I get to play it in the future. But a lot of people like it, and it's their highest rated game right now. Merchant's Cove didn't come out yet, but again, just like all their other games, graphics, art, components, all amazing. And now we're on to Monsters on Board. So hopefully they're turning their company around and everything else is, you know, in the positive frame of light now. So okay, what is Monsters on Board? Essentially, this is just a very light dice drafting game, and you can almost think of it like tracks on tracks on tracks. So almost every die that you're going to draft, you're going to go up a couple of tracks. You're going to go up the monster track. Moving monsters in your city is just tracks. There's 6 different monsters. They stand for the 6 colors. It's a track. You're just going to move them down the track. Every second spot has an ability. You're going to trigger the ability, which is most likely advancing again on a track or moving something to help you go up the tracks, so on and so on. There's a summoning track below all the 3 rows of dice over here. And then there's the last track, which is the summoning of, I think his name is Spider Jack, which is going up more tracks. Don't worry, I have nothing against tracks. Hadara is one of my favorite games ever, and that one's just tracks on tracks. It's fine. And it's just the core mechanism, and I love that mechanism, right? Terra Mystica style, go up tracks. It's fine. Alright, so that's the base game. That's what you're doing. There is a, if you really want to know what you're doing in the game, very helpful gameplay video section here. Video section, just graphical section. I wish every freaking campaign did this. You basically draw 4 dice out of a bag, you roll them, you put them in these awesome cars. I gotta say, before I continue, this game, graphic design, art, components, A+. Can't even complain. I'm gonna gush a bit about this game, but so far, everything looks amazing. Alright, you draft your die, you move the car over, as you can see over here, to the next player. They take a die off the car, move the car over. It's pretty cool. After that, everyone's gonna trigger all their dice because it's sort of multiplayer solitaire at that point. Once you have all your dice, just like most drafting games, you trigger them, whatever, do whatever you have to do. And then you get to the buying phase, which is at the end. So one of your dice is going to be used for buying instead of placing it on your track, on your board, and you're going to buy stuff, so on and so on. So yeah, overall, really the game impresses me. It's all things that I like. I love drafting. I love dice drafting. I love the Sagrada style scoring system in the game. It all looks good. So why am I not going to back it? A couple of reasons. I'll get to that after when we talk about the price. But let's finish talking about gameplay, because I just have two little nagging issues about gameplay and about the graphic design, or maybe three. Okay. First is they have this really stupid rule about everyone drafting their dice one at a time, starting with the first player. All right. This is slated to be a 30 to 60 minute game. It's a light game. People are overthinking it. If you're actually going to play where the first player grabs a die, then the second player grabs a die, third player grabs a die, fourth player grabs a die, then move your cards around, you're literally adding 10 to 15 minutes to your game every single time, and it's stupid. Just draft your die when the card comes to you and pass it on. Alright, do it all at the same time. It doesn't matter. What I would suggest, the company, what they should have done, instead of having these open cars, they should have had like a shield on the outside of the car. So you roll your dice, you put it in the car, nobody can see your dice. So nobody's like cheating, looking over, trying to pick the die that they want, depending on other dice, and so on and so on. You know, it's just like most drafting games. 7 Wonders. You're not looking at somebody else's hand to decide what you're going to draft right now. I mean, if you played 7 Wonders 100 times, yes, you know what's in the deck. Okay, sure, whatever. But if you're playing it 10 times, you're not going to know. And you draft the best die at that moment, all right? Just like most drafting games, all right? So that's what I would say. Cut the game down. I would probably implement that as a house rule every single time. Another stupid thing, the exact same concept for the main board here. The buying phase, like I mentioned before. Again, the stupid thing where you buy one card, next guy buys one card, next guy buys one card, comes back to you, you buy another card. So essentially you buy one thing, you refill the board, next guy buys another thing, refill the board, and you keep going around until everyone's finished their money. Again, really dumb. You're adding time to the game that shouldn't be there. Most games solve this problem already. You buy all your stuff right away, you refill, go to the next player, he buys, refill. You do this max 4 times, and that's it. It's so stupid, buying one at a time. You're just adding time to get, again, another house rule I'll probably implement for sure when playing this. Alright, so those are just a couple of nagging, there's some naggy things about the whole graphic design on the right here. Again, it's just tracks on tracks. I don't know why they went for this stupid circle spots and then jumping onto other circle spots. It's just confusing. It's kind of stupid because it's literally 12 spots, right? It's a track. 1, 2, 3, every single monster has to go down 12 spots. They could have implemented this so much better, and it takes up way too much real estate. I swear, this game is a super light game, and it's going to take up more space than me playing Terra Mystica on my table. These boards are massive, with the cards, with all the components on this table. You're going to need a massive table to play this game. And yet it's just barely more complicated than Sagrada, which takes up almost no space at all. Alright, so keep that in mind. Some little things that are preventing me from backing this. So I know I have to rant on something, and these are a couple of things that what they should have done. Honestly, I just thought of it right now. All right, I'll fix the game for them. What they should have done is a player board should have been just this area over here. So the Sagrada style score, maybe okay, at the top where you add your 4 dice, whatever, I don't care. It should have been just this section, and everyone's right hand player board should have been a main board where everyone moves on. All right, so everyone's characters are moving on some main board, moving up tracks, getting a bit, because basically everyone's track is going to be exactly the same. So why does everyone have the exact same track on the right? It's just taking up table space for absolutely no reason. Have one main board on the middle of the table, everyone's moving up the tracks, getting the same ability, so on and so on and so on. Okay, plus you could have had some player interaction, powers up there and stuff like that. Would have been better. It is what it is. All right, so there you go. But mostly it's positive. I just had to rant on a few things. Alright, so let's talk about the base game first. Now let's talk about value and price. Talked about the gameplay, looks good. So base game, standard game, $55, let's just say, plus $15 shipping, $70 for this game. Alright. Already, never gonna do that. Only 50 people did it. Terrible value. If this comes out in retail, it'll be less than 50 bucks. Even in Canada, it'll probably be 55 bucks. Even if it's 60 bucks at its worst, it's still $10 cheaper. Plus, you can see everyone's reviews and see if the game's actually good. All right, so don't do that. Now let's talk about the deluxe edition. All right, I got a little rant here. So deluxe, I'm gonna say the components are super cute. Obviously, they stole all the graphics from Hotel Transylvania. Basically, just copyrighted all their stuff. Whatever, plagiarized all their characters. They look exactly the same. All right, so there you go. That's what they did. It doesn't matter. It looks good. So you get about 60 minis here for about 15 bucks. Is that worth it? You know, on paper, it's not bad. My major issue is that these components are completely superfluous to the game. They're really not needed. And that's why the main reason I'm not going to back the game. I'll just wait for retail and just get the game in retail. I don't mind the retail edition with the standees, to be honest. It's fine. These don't add anything to the game. They're just markers on your board. So on your board here on the right, the people moving down the track, which it's again just a track, is going to be a mini instead of a standee or a token. You know what? I would have preferred a token or a track just to move the token up a track. To be honest, you don't even need these minis. That's one of the reasons I'm not backing it. The other reason I'm not backing it is because of this expansion. All right, so let's look at the expansion bit for 1 second. We're almost done, I swear. So the expansion part. So I think the expansion is a must for this game. All right, the base game seems a bit too light. It reminds me a bit of Taverns of Tiefenthal if you've ever played it. If you played just the base game of that game, the decision space is not there. It's very limited and it needs a little bit of meat, and that's where you have to add the modules to actually make it, you know, better. This one here, same sort of concept. The base game's a little lackluster, and some of the things you can buy is like the ghosts, but they completely removed the ghosts with the expansion because the ghost is a stupid system. And I think the expansion's a must, and it's another 20 bucks. So if you want everything, it's $89 plus $20 shipping. You're looking at $110 for the super light game. All right, that's where they lost me. I'd rather wait for retail. I'll probably pay less than 70 bucks for the base game and the expansion at retail if it comes out of retail for the exact same game. And that's where I stand. So let me know below if you're backing it, if you're excited about the game. You know what? I want to try this game. It looks good. It has everything I like. It has tracks, it has dice drafting, has cool art. Let's give it a shot. Alright, let's go to the next one. Alright, the next one we're going to talk about is Return to Planet Apocalypse, which are 2 expansions actually. Not just 1, 2 expansions to the Planet Apocalypse game. So I don't even know where to start on this one, to be honest, guys. I'm just going to start off by saying this is when you know your hobby is in great shape. You know, when people are buying game board tables at super expensive costs, they're buying sleeves that are expensive, inserts that are more expensive than the game, when people are spending $1,000 on this whole game system and it's funding at $500,000, it's a good sign, right? So here we go. So let's talk about Planet Apocalypse. This is a super duper expensive Kickstarter here from Sandy Peterson Games, and you know they have a reputation. Their reputation, make games super expensive, have these massive minis the size of my arm, make people pay for it, and so on and so on. It gets a bit of a reputation. The games are rated higher because they're hard to get games, even though they're I don't know, they might be great games, but people might overrate them because they're hard to find. You know, that sort of concept. You know, you can only get on Kickstarter. Also, there's the whole thing, you don't want to say that you wasted your money, so you're gonna rate it high on Board Game Geek and all that stuff. So it has that going for it. So don't look at the reviews online. But I did read the rulebook, looked at the playthrough videos and everything. It does look like a good game. So this is not one of them that people are lying about. It is though super duper light. Think of it like dice chucking the game, alright? So this game, tower defense style. So if you don't know what tower defense, before I even go any further, tower defense style, let me show you with a picture. This is the base game here. This is the base map. Enemies are coming and coming. You're fighting them off over and over again. You're leveling up your character, getting XP, so on and so forth. Tower defense. Eventually the boss is going to advance. And the whole point of the game is to kill the boss. As soon as you kill the boss, you win. If the boss reaches the end, or if the doom tracker fills up, you lost. Alright, so super easy. Dice chucker. You basically roll your dice for everything in this game. You roll at the beginning of your turn to see what trooper you're going to get. You're going to roll for every single attack during the game. You're going to roll at the end of your turn to see what monsters are even going to spawn. So you have these despair dice, and when these symbols match, you spawn more monsters. So it's just, you're essentially every single turn chucking like between 3 and 10 dice to do stuff. You're just chucking dice over and over again, right? Just dice chucking, check. I'm not saying that's a bad game. If you know that's what it is going in, it could be good. All right. Another super engaging thing about this game that I absolutely love is the whole leveling up system. I think it's genius. So let me show you the picture. So you have these player boards here, these character boards. So during almost every single turn, you're gonna have enough XP to upgrade your board. So you're gonna take cards and you're gonna put them on your board to get special abilities, but also you're gonna be covering up the spots on your board and you're gonna get a secondary bonus. So you're almost getting like a double bonus every single time. It's such a good system. I have never seen that before. It's fantastic. All right, that's the base game. All right, or that's the core concept of the game. Just tower defense, fighting them off. Looks good. All right, so I really have almost nothing to rant about on the gameplay besides it's just a chuck fest. All right, you know you're gonna win or lose based on how well you're rolling the dice. Okay, there's almost no strategy here. Let's call a spade here. It's a 60 to 90 minute game where you're chucking a ton of dice. If you're rolling bad, you're gonna lose. If you're rolling good, you're gonna win. That's it. That's the game. All right, but there's a cool upgrading mechanism, keeps you engaged, so on and so on. All right, so there's Planet Apocalypse. So why would I not back this? Well, now we're gonna get to the elephant in the room, the price. This is a Peterson Games thing. Honestly, because of the way volume works, Peterson Games, just make your games 30% smaller. There's still going to be massive minis, but the price of the game is going to be chopped in half. You know how great it would be to get this whole game system in about $200 if everything was half the size. Now it's going to be almost $1,000 to get all this stuff because everything's gigantic. All right. And I don't know if you've seen the Cthulhu Realms games. You have these massive boxes to hold like 2 minis inside. Like this whole box holds 2 minis. Anyway, that's my mini rant there. So let's talk about value, price, and all that stuff. I mean, there's not much to say. This is, again, extravagance. So let's just talk about the whole pledge, because I'm talking mainly about the whole pledge system here. Where did I just pass it? Yeah, so here you go. So if you want everything, including what was in the base game, the first Kickstarter, everything from the second Kickstarter, I believe it comes with all the stretch goals also from the first Kickstarter. It's going to cost you $666 plus, let's just say $100 shipping. It's going to cost you over $750. That's insane. All right. Basically, this whole campaign is targeted towards, let's just call it the rich, all right, or the people who don't want to pay their mortgage. Okay, there you go. What I would say though, let's talk about the value of other things. Let's get to the core game. If you are interested in this game, what I would say is forget this whole Kickstarter campaign. Just go to a regular store and just buy it. It's going to be cheaper than $99. I don't even know why they say it's $99 on the Kickstarter. I can show you right here. Go to a regular store. Whatever, 80 bucks. Even here, 99 bucks. You can get it tomorrow. Here, 70 bucks. You can get it at a store for less. Even in Canadian here. Well, it was less than $100. I could have got it for $84 Canadian. All right, that's, whoops. So that's much less than it would be $99 plus, let's say, $30 shipping. I'm saving like 50 bucks. All right, and you're getting like no exclusives. This is just the base game. So if you're interested in the game, just go buy it in the store. It's going to cost you less than $100. You're going to get the base game. All right, if you want to add some stuff to the game, I am going to say the expansions are not a bad value. All right, so here we're talking 70 bucks for one of the expansions. Now I'm going to say they did release some of their previous expansions in retail and they were also 70 bucks. What you do get though for that money is you're also going to get one of your choice of these level 4 monsters. And these are about like $20 to $30 in value. So that's where you're getting the value from the expansion. Okay. So that's what I would say. If you're interested, just get 1 or 2 of these expansions, get the base game from a store, and boom. You got a ton of variety to your game now. You're going to add 4 more heroes, ton more level 4 monsters, level 3 monsters, endgame monsters. so on. As new maps, the game desperately needs maps. I think that circle map is kind of too basic. It needs something interesting like this. It's probably better. And there you go, that's where I stand. So don't go all in, waste the money, get 1 or 2 of these expansions, probably good. Get the base game from a retailer. If you really want the second printing, honestly, look online what the difference in first printing, second printing is. If not, just wait for the second printing to be on sale at some regular store when the game comes out, and you'll be fine. Everything else in this game, I mean, this is a good one. If you really want both of those expansions, I would get this, to be fair. Get this and then get the base game from a retail store. You'll spend about 250 bucks, a lot less than 750, but this is good. It's both expansions, plus both monsters, plus you get these token packs, which is like a $30 to $40 value, plus these cards, more heroes and all that stuff, which is another $10 to $15 value. Okay, you could get this, so the difference here is 180 to 250. It's $70, so almost the price of the retail edition of the second printing. I mean, if you really want to just wait, you can get this, so on and so on. And then you get to this, don't get this, kind of stupid. And that's what I think. There you go. There's also no like unlocks in this whole campaign, so there's really nothing pressing to do. What I am gonna be disappointed about is this mini here. You would have only gotten it if you backed the game in the first 48 hours, and that sucks because this is a $40 value that's a Kickstarter exclusive, and now you just can't get it. And that $179 pledge would have been really worth it if you were able to get this. Without this, you're losing a ton of value, and it's shame on Peterson Games. First like 24, 48 hour pledge is just garbage. It's such a stupid thing that most companies just got rid of. Also, you do get this is new. I don't remember seeing this before. So if you do get at least one of the expansions, you'll get this extra character. It's just a hero with a hero board, but you know what, it adds something, so it gives you a little something. Let's just talk about that unlocks that I was talking about before. Basically stretch goals, there's none. Nothing got unlocked yet, and I don't think it will. If one does get unlocked, you'll get one monster. You'll get one extra monster that you get to help create, whatever. So there you go. So the value, it's all right. You'll probably be able to get your money back with the 250. With the 666, I would say it's going to be super hard for you to get your value unless you get some rich guy that wants to pay you for everything. But you know, if thousands of people bought that, then the market's not going to be there. So that's what I think. Game looks interesting. I wanted to give it a try, but I don't know anyone who's going to back this. Write in the comments below if you're going to back it, if you're interested, what level you're going to back it at, and so on. So that's all I got to say about this. Let's see you in the next one. Later.